Right, it is time now for our debrief with Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae. Julia, always great to see you. She's been in the courtroom throughout the day. All right, Julia, tell us more about the testimony the jury heard today from even more survivors of this shooting.
Michael, they heard from teacher after teacher, student after student, those classmates and friends of the slain. Horrifying recounts from these witnesses in front of the jury. And when you remember what this prosecution has to prove in front of this jury, not guilt, but that there are aggravating factors to these murders, that they are heinous, atrocious, and cruel, and that this crime was cold, calculated, and premeditated. That's the kind of evidence they want to make sure this jury understands so that they can show that they've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that those aggravating factors are applicable in this case. One of those teachers really brought this jury into that classroom where that gunfire rang out. She described it in a way where you could hear the words of the sounds that they were hearing, where most of these witnesses said initially they thought it was all a drill.
There were multiple gunshots, and they were incredibly loud. Boom, 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 boom. And I froze for a moment, and the students jumped out of their seats. Of course, they were startled and scared, and they tried to scurry out of their desks, and they started to run in the opposite direction of the classroom door. And in running in that direction, they were running towards the windows on the other side of the classroom, and I yelled at them. I said, no, no, not that way, not that way. Go to the other side, go to the other side. Get behind the desk, get behind the furniture, go the other way. The gunshots continued, and they got louder and louder. We were trying to keep each other quiet. The kids were on top of each other and hugging each other and holding each other, and we were trying to hush each other. Shh. You hear the piercing sounds of the fire alarm going off, and you feel the vibrations in your chest as the gunshots were getting closer and louder. You could feel the vibrations in your chest and in your body.
It's testimony like that from teacher Ronit Rioven that makes this real to those who were not there. The last person that the jury heard from today was a student, Nicolette Miata, who said that she actually saw this defendant when she was leaving the school, when she was in that group of students who were told by police to line up and go a certain way. She noticed him. She recognized him from when she was a student with him and chatted with him for a brief moment, asked him what his plans were after school. He said that he had some college plans. And then for this jury, she pointed out who she was talking to after all of that. So a moment there ending the day of testimony, with more to come tomorrow, Michael.
Yeah, it's so difficult. Now, I have to ask you, Julia, and I mentioned this the other day. I hope you're taking care of yourself. But what has it been like being in that courtroom for these proceedings?
This testimony is difficult. It's hard to listen to. And the youth, I think, of these witnesses who are coming in, the fact that it is young person after young person after young person, just reminds you when you have something like this that happens in a school, all of your eyewitnesses, all of the people who can tell you about what happened, they're all going to be very young, and they've all been traumatized in a way. And you keep remembering that at a young age, this was the trauma that they had to endure. There's one welcome site that is in the hallways when these witnesses actually walk out. There's a team of therapy dogs that are there to greet them. They're certified. There's a group, Certified Therapy Dogs, Inc., and they bring these dogs into the courtroom with the court's permission to allow these witnesses to get that displacement, to get them to separate from the trauma they just had to relive when they were in the courtroom. And they say the response has been overwhelming. They see a change in these witnesses' eyes when they're able to go into what they call hospitality rooms after this testimony is over, and they pet the dogs, they light up. I've seen that happen. I've seen it in the eyes of other people who are not necessarily those survivors and witnesses, but everyone who's touching this trial right now, or everyone who has to listen to it, you can see there's this collective heaviness that we all feel, because we all know we are watching something that no person should have to live through.